guest that we have with us, and I'm looking at my notes to make sure I do not get the name wrong again. And so it's Joa Anderchuk, and you will recognize from the conversations on the Loop. Yeah. And I'm always inspired by the amazing people that we have who are taking initiatives not only here at BCIT, but in their local communities, and reading and seeing the posts that were on the Loop. But I don't want to take away her thunder, so I'll pass it over to you to tell about the wonderful experience that you've had. And I notice you have food, so I never get in the way of people with food. So I'll pass it over to you.
Thanks, Chris. Well, I'm an instructor in the communication department, and I've been very active in my use of professional development funds. And I'm very big on educational technologies and innovations and teachings as well. So I attend conferences every year, and I've been going to Greece for the last few years. And in 2015, I saw with my very own eyes the refugees arriving on Kos and Kalymnos. It was very emotional. I'm surprised that's what's happening at this moment. And when I came back in the autumn of 2015, I thought, if we have refugees coming to Canada, how are we going to host them? How are we going to be welcoming to them like the Greeks are in these islands of Kos and Kalymnos that are arriving with all these people who are getting processed and then moving on to other parts of Europe? So I sent an email to Kathy. I thought, might as well start at the top and see if I have permission to make a Loop blog. Sometimes I call it a bloop, a Loop blog, and invite people to start having conversations. We know in 2013, when Egypt had their coup d'etat, how effective social media was, and in 2014 in the Maidan Square in Ukraine, how effective social media was. I thought, we have a Loop, and we have lots of staff and faculty, and we can make a difference here too. So I put it out there, and I thought, let's start with some conversations. Let's see who wants to join in. And today we've had 1,400 views. People here really care about what's going on with Syrians in the Lower Mainland. And I started to get replies from people and offers and ideas. One man, Michael Galley, I've never met him. So a lot of the people that I've been working with for almost a year now, they're all virtual friends. We're a huge team that we've never met. So he may be here today, I'm not sure. Is he here? Hello, Michael. Michael lost a son a few years ago, and he created a scholarship through the BC Teachers of English as an Additional Language. And there are other refugee scholarships out there. And so he approached me and said, if your refugees want to have scholarships, we have money. There are also teachers. I used to teach in the ESL environment, or I used to teach English as an additional language in Vancouver years and years ago, about 25 years ago, before I came to BCIT. And 35 of those teachers that are, some are retired and some are still working, are being volunteering. And I approached Bill Dow because Kathy just said, talk to Lara and we'll give you whatever you need. So Bill said, if you need learning spaces, we have learning spaces. But we haven't needed to use any, but I've still got it up my sleeve, yeah. So if we still need. And the teachers are still volunteering, and they're still placing teachers, and they're giving free lessons to Syrians. And then my most favorite meeting was someone who's not a virtual person, but a real person, Kathy Hiska, who's here today from the Learning Commons. She had a student who came in who was a part-time student, and she was an engineer in Syria who moved here in 2002. She has 3 sons, and she lost families. And her son said to her, Mom, we don't want any more families of ours to die going off of the boats heading out of Syria. So they escaped one night, and they got in a car, and they hired a driver, and they have been in a refugee camp in Iraq. And Maya said, I want to sponsor them. I want to do a private sponsorship. So it costs $30,000. I'm going to do everything I can. And her dad said, what can I do? I don't even speak the language. All I know how to do is bake bread. So her father has been baking bread, and he sells it as a token of things that people do to make donations. And I talked to my son about what could we do for fundraisers, and he says, Mom, all the time that everybody puts into on fundraisers, you spend a lot of money, but why don't you just ask people for their money? So that came a little bit later, but first I thought, we love food. I love food. Let's bring Syrians together. Let's meet Syrians. Let's talk to them. Let's take them for walks along Yishon Creek. But we haven't been able to find many Syrians. They're all adjusting and trying to find living spaces and getting getting things that they need to live. But Maya has charged on, and she's been raising money. So we started with a dinner. I thought, let's have 4 fundraising dinners and let's get people learning how to make Syrian food. It's just lovely. It's just Mediterranean food. These are called prah. So it's a Syrian word, but Maya is Kurdish, but she's not allowed to speak her language, so she actually uses language of Arabic. So I test drove a fundraising dinner at my home for my 50th birthday, and I invited friends and family, and we raised over $600, and it was just a birthday party. I said, don't bring gifts, just give money to the Syrians. And I thought, okay, now I know how to run this. Let's do a dinner. Let's do a dinner on campus. So Kathy got together the library faculty and staff, and they raised over $800 in one dinner night, and we're all rolling little grape leaves and rice and having a lovely time. Then June came, and it was time to work on my research and go to the conference again on educational technologies. And I had in the back of my head, I need to be still doing something. And I talked to some colleagues about a GoFundMe page, and they said, it's so easy. And many of you probably remember 2 years ago when Brian Tom was here, and we were raising money for him, and we successfully got $30,000, and may he rest in peace. I started the GoFundMe page, and I advertised it on my blog, and so kindly I met Susanna Millette. Is she here? Hello, Susanna. She took it under her wing, and she started advertising and started promoting and putting it on the BCIT newsletter, and BCIT came, and we rallied, and in 12 days we got almost $3,000. And checks were coming in for $500 from people who were not even BCIT staff, but her department, my department, everybody was helping out. It was very fast. And we stopped because I got a text from Maya saying, I have $30,000. I'm going to make my application tomorrow, and my family's going to come here. We were thrilled. We were elated. We were so excited to hear that we had helped bring that family here. So Maya's mother, whose name is Zakia, I love this name, Zakia has brought me food because we've just made friends. And she's a Syrian who's been here, but she's connected to so many Syrians. And she has a Mary Kay lady who is now getting all the Mary Kay ladies together who are going to bring another one of Maya's families. And there are some law firms downtown who are going to bring another one of Maya's families. So Maya is a maven, and she's connected, and she's just so sweet and so smart and so genuine that it's great that she can be a BCIT student as well, but she's raising 3 boys and taking a term off, and just amazing person. So I asked her, what was it like when your family heard that they're finally coming to Canada? She said, they have hope. Without hope, we have nothing. And it might take a year, but they have hope.
That's awesome.
It's amazing the connection and the involvement and people meeting for the first time in here and that amazing story. But I think there's probably a lot of people in the group who are going, can we still be involved? Is there anything that we can still do?
You can still be involved. There is the scholarships for the BC Teal. If you Google BC Teal scholarship or talk to Michael Galley, he's on the loop as well. You can go to the Humanity for Syrians website, which is now set up for you to get a tax receipt for any donations that you make. And you can follow me on my bloop, my blog loop, my loop on the blog. And I will post things that are needed by the Syrians who are living here. There's one family who's here, and they didn't know about some kind of cooking mechanism, and the oil exploded on her face, and she came here, and now she's dealing with facial burns. And Maya just keeps going and just says, we need a dresser, we need some beds, we need something. And so my mother, who's living in independent living in her residence, sometimes people die, they're on the end of their life, and my mom is even connecting Maya with furniture. So the Syrians are coming to my mom's residence, and furniture is getting placed into good homes. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to still help that family when they come, whatever their needs are, whoever they are, there are still Syrians here. That we'll find them and we'll help them.
Wonderful, thank you very much.